Astrology for the week of October 28th. I want to slow it down a little bit and I want to take us really deep into this astrology for this short and sweet conversation. So it's Scorpio season. That's already taking us deeper. It's the last few days before a new moon. It's the dark phase of the moon. It's the shedding phase of the moon. You want to feel you're a snake and you're shedding your skin. The other thing about this moment, this week, is it's a real witchy week. Yep, Hekate, queen of the witches, is conjunct Medusa in a sextile to Venus. Also, Medusa, Hekate are conjunct Black Moon Lilith. This is powerful. It's powerful in a way that the witches might be like, oh shit. There's deeper magic than I thought there was. That could very much be on offer this week. Also, Chiron is a real shamanic aspect. So not only are we seeing the medicine woman Hekate and the medicine woman Medusa being in that sextile to Venus, which makes it loud. Venus is a part of self that we can really identify with. So when they're in this aspect to Venus, it's like the feminine side of self suddenly gets fueled by witchy energy, gets fueled by Lilith, medicine woman type energy, dark goddess type energy. It's not dark goddess bad. I also want to be really, really clear about that. It's not dark goddess bad. It's like dark goddess hidden. Dark goddess, what we've demonized. Dark goddess, what we've denied in ourselves, what we've repressed, oppressed in ourselves or in our culture. That's the dark goddess that I'm referring to here and in astrology when they come up. So it's really like the dark ladies are like, hey, there's more to the feminine here. There's a lot more to the feminine here. Now, interestingly, on Monday, Venus squares Saturn. Squares are tough aspects. So Venus, right, while she's in this sextile on Monday, right, which is a good aspect to the dark goddess, it's like dark goddess is fueling the feminine in us, the lover feminine in us, in a square to Saturn. So it's like a face-off. It's kind of a face-off between like dark Venus and Saturn, Father Time, Lord of Karma. Saturn can do two things for the feminine. One, can completely shut the feminine down. Unhealthy Saturn shuts the feminine down, right? Healed, healthy, evolved Saturn can hold every single aspect of the feminine. So that's like Shiva Saturn. This is stunning. Saturn is one of those archetypal energies that when healed, when really open and alive in someone, or if it was open and alive in our world or our collective consciousness, instead of like wanting to squash the feminine, it would be this really amazing, safe, sacred place. And this, I can have love and devotion and reverence for every aspect of the feminine, every single aspect of the feminine. So just feel into that theme for yourself, right? Where you're either playing the Saturn role and you're trying to shut your own feminine down, or you're playing the feminine role and you're trying to wake up the masculine to be able to be conscious to different aspects of the feminine, to be able to not just be conscious to different aspects of the feminine, but to be able to stand facing forward, to stay open-hearted, to be in devotion to every aspect of the feminine. Now, it's an intense energy. That's intense, and that's a really intense way to start the week off. So that kind of started Sunday night, goes into Monday. That Venus kind of moving through that sextile with all those dark ladies, she then, get this, she then starts to move into conjunction with Pallas Athena, the warrior. This starts to happen come, I think like Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, and then into that new moon happening on Friday. I'll talk more about this in the new moon, but she comes in with the asteroid Lilith, with Pallas Athena, and with Kali. I mean, this is just the lover aspect in us. Primary feminine archetypal energy that we all identify with in ourselves is really getting hit by the dark goddess this week. So you can say that this is like a real dark goddess kind of a new moon. It's a real dark goddess kind of a Halloween. Now, it's not just dark goddess like witchy. It's not just dark goddess witchy. It's dark goddess like fierce grace. That's Kali. It's dark goddess black moon Lilith. That's like the conglomerate of the dark goddesses. And that's really saying like, here's a part of the feminine you've disowned. Here's where you give away your power. That's a big thing. Here's where you're not in equality with the masculine. It's demanding equality, demanding not over-compromising self-sacrificing self. It's also wild woman. So these dark goddesses, it's not just like witchy, it's also wild woman. Like the wild instinctual self in me is valuable as well. There's wisdom in my emotions. There's wisdom in my womb. There's wisdom in my body. There's wisdom. There's wisdom here. And it's almost, she's demanding. She's demanding to be seen, to be heard. This could cause a lot of tension this week. This could cause a couple arguments. This could cause a little bit of interesting things coming out of our mouths. So we want to give ourselves some space. So here's something that I'm always an advocate of when working with the dark goddesses is give ourselves some space to move some of this old energy out. Some of this energy will bring up like old toxic energy. It's like toxins in the body, repressed emotions, bring up past life, like karmic goo stuff that comes up. So really moving a lot of energy can be really good. It's also great for Scorpio season. We're in Scorpio season, right? Headed toward a Scorpio new moon. This is about moving stagnation. We want no stagnant energy. Do not get stuck in loops. Do not get stuck in an energy. Do not get stuck in an emotion. So if there's one thing, one practice that I can say, dance wildly, move energy through your body, whether that be through breath work, whether that be through dancing wildly, whether that be through running hill sprints, kickboxing, don't care. Whatever it is for you, move big energy. And that can be really helpful to do physical movement can help to move big energy. When working with the feminine, there are 3 principles to move big energy: breath, movement, sound. You want to hear them again? 3. These are the top 3 to move big feminine energy: breath, movement, sound, breath, movement, sound, breath, movement, sound. You want better orgasms? Breath, movement, sound. Really and truly, I'm not kidding, right? If you're primarily identified as the feminine and you want to move big energy, breath, movement, sound. You want to open up to more of your sensuality, more of your radiance, breath, movement, sound. Really, 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 really. You want to shift out of crappy emotions, out of a lot of grief, out of a lot of rage, breath, movement, sound. For real. So keep that in your back pocket. That's the best practice that I can give you around the dark ladies really hammering Venus. So the interesting thing now, it gets more intense, is that on Monday, Venus is square to Saturn. We talked about this, right? Saturn, father time, lord of karma, talked about this, but he can be the evolved version of Shiva. Mostly he's not, though. Most people do not express Saturn to that degree. It would be amazing if our world did, and like, let's all do that. But also square and a half to Mars, and Mars is in a square and a half to, so there's a Thor's hammer happening here. So Thor's hammer happening on Monday with Mars. Mars is Venus's counterpart. Mars is the masculine counterpart to Venus. They're lovers. They're the lovers of the zodiac. So they're both in this really tension-based dynamic with Saturn. Karma. You want to think karma between lovers. Karma between the lovers and you. The karma of your own, let's say, divine feminine and divine masculine. The karma, like what is the karma of the union in you? The divine union in you, the sacred union in you, the masculine and feminine union in you. What's the karma, the harmony, the balance between those 2 energies within yourself? What is your karma? Where are you at now? Father time, lord of karma, time. What are you right on time for? Well, I'm on time for awakening to more of my feminine. I'm on time for evolving my masculine. I'm on time for figuring out a way where my masculine doesn't override my feminine. I'm right on time for figuring out a way where my feminine doesn't belittle and emasculate my masculine. That's a really good reflective question and a really good thing to like meditate on, journal on, take a walk and think about that. What am I right on time for when it comes to my own masculine and feminine? There's a bunch of different videos that I've done on masculine and feminine energy to kind of like take out the man-woman bullshit around it because it's not gender-based at all. They're just doorways into different parts of self. So we'll put some links above and we'll put some links below where you can dive a little bit deeper into these things. Okay. Sorry, I get a little bit sidetracked. I just got excited thinking about the tour that's coming up and our 2-day immersions that are coming up. And we will very much be working in these masculine and feminine spaces with a bunch of different archetypal energies in our Berlin, London, and Sydney events. So in case you're wanting to work in person, like, Sabrina, I really want to work on this like harmonious balance and sacred union. I will never run an event where we don't like explore the two of them and the magic that happens when we can bring them into a more evolved expression and into more harmony and union, because it opens us up to a third energy called creation energy, and it's pretty powerful and wild. So we'll do all of that in those events. So if you're in Berlin, London, or Sydney in 2025, or you're near them, or you just want to travel to them, there's a link below. There's a birthday special going on right now for the next, I don't know, I think another couple weeks after this video goes out. So just know you can like get it really good. This is the early bird kind of pricing on it. Okay, let me keep going now. Tuesday, remember Mars. So Mars, Venus's counterpart. Mars is god of war. Mars is the aspect of us that beautifully, and when in evolved expression, right, is the action oriented. We'll go to battle for heart and soul. We'll like break through things. We'll make things happen in the world. Has good direction, typically, like good directional force, good leadership, like really like takes our life force energy and aims it at the goals that we give Mars. But here's the interesting thing is, where are your goals coming from? Are the goals that you're giving your Mars ego-based goals? Are the goals heart-based goals? Are the goals what your dad told you your goals should be? Are the goals what society is telling you that your goals should be? Are those goals, this is the really powerful place to practice with Mars. This is the biggest place to practice with Mars, is where are your goals coming from? You got to give Mars goals. He needs goals. He is a warrior. He is a fighter. He will do whatever his directive is. He is an amazing soldier. But where are those directives coming from? How deep within yourself are they coming from? Are they coming from, again, a like heart-based, soul-based place? Is he a heart warrior? Is he a soul warrior? Is he aligned with your deepest, most fulfilling purposes? If not, if you're like, wow, damn, I might be fighting for the wrong thing, sit with that, get really quiet and sit with that and ask the question, sit in the question, go on a shamanic vision quest, asking it for that question, get real still, do some like, I don't know, food fasting, whatever, like with some real masculine based stillness, silence practices, and figure out what it is that really aligns you, that feels like meaningful endeavors, purposeful work in the world. And purposeful work in the world could be having a family. Meaningful endeavors could mean being of service to your community. This isn't about making money. It isn't about a job. It's not about a job. Let's not confuse soul purposes with a job. I think we screw ourselves up so often when we start doing that. It's just, what is the thing that makes you come alive? What is the thing that makes you feel so full? What is the thing that also makes you feel so empty? You've given everything you have, yet you're also so incredibly full. That's the key. That's the magic we want to look for. All right, so Mars opposing Pluto. Pluto's going to force Mars to see that. Pluto, he's evolutionary. He's a soul point. He's a soul point. When you look at your astrology chart, you always want to look at Pluto as a soul point. If you want to know, what are my soul purposes? What is my soul here to do? What am I here to really experience on a soul level? That's Pluto. So Pluto's going to be smashing Mars. So this is Tuesday that this starts to happen. I mean, it goes through. Like it's loud all week headed into that new moon, right? This is intense. This is intense, but I love it. It could be really triggering, really challenging though. When Mars gets challenged, he can get really aggressive. He can get really reactive. You think of like a really strong, egotistical, masculine being, right? And you trigger him, right? You trigger him, or you like course correct him, or you're like, dude, you're fighting for the wrong thing. Like sometimes that first initial reaction before you can break through that like strong armor, that first initial reaction is literally like a dying wild animal, like pinned in a corner, who will do whatever to fucking kill you. Doesn't care. That's what we want to watch out for this week. We really want to watch out for that reactivity, that you push the wrong button, and like the deeper feeling in Mars will be like not worthy, or not valuable. Like that's the deeper feeling, not on purpose. I'm not bringing anything to the table. That's the deeper feeling. But the surface level one will be oftentimes an angry, a fuck you. right? Feel that for yourself. That's something powerful to reflect on, because Pluto might be wanting to evolve that old pattern, right? This is masculine evolution this week. It's really inviting our masculine, the masculine in the world, the masculine in each of us, my own masculine, to fucking up level itself, right? Like, listen here, sunshine, there's a way of being much more conscious. There's a way of being much more evolved in your directional force, in your love of the feminine, in your meaningful and purposeful endeavors, and aligning with that. There's a much more powerful way of being empowered without disempowering others. That's Pluto too. That's Pluto moving into Aquarius, cleaning up power dynamics. Just know that that's all on offer. I need to wrap it up, because little Tucker over there, that's the whining little dog in the background. Sometimes you'll see him on our like little Instagram reels, whatever. He's just letting me know, like, hey, it's close to noon, we need to go. All right, a couple more things. We're just going to talk through just a few more, and then you can dive further into this all on the new moon video that's coming up. Venus, let me see, half square to Pluto, Mercury. I want to talk about this on Wednesday. So just more Venus stuff with Pluto, Lord of the Underworld. I don't need to talk too much about that. We've already kind of explained what Pluto's doing, evolutionary point, but now Venus is getting hit again. Those zodiac lovers, Mars and Venus, they're just getting like hammered for evolution and awakening. The feminine awakening more of the feminine, moving out of toxic feminine expressions, the masculine, evolution of the masculine, moving out of toxic expressions of the masculine, the whole week. So just watch what's going on in arguments, watch what's going on triggering you, watch what's going on with your direction, with your decision-making skills, watch what's going on with your amount of life force, that's the feminine, your amount of vitality and energy to put behind where it is that you're wanting to create in the world, or what you're wanting to manifest. That's where those two harmonize. Remember, I talked about Rewild Your Life, those tours that were going on, Berlin, London, Sydney, those in-person events. That's the fucking magic. That's the magic of why you want them to harmonize, because you get this enormous amount of life force, more energy, untapped, right? Untapped aliveness and life force that you can then pour into, because they're working in unison, they're working in harmony. Like, it's about making stuff happen in the world. It's about really being able to create these big, beautiful, wild lives that we're craving, that we're longing for, that are soul fulfilling, that are meaningful endeavors and purposeful. And when you get those two forces working together, I mean, you're an unstoppable force at that point. So if you're like, wow, Sabrina, this sounds great. How do I do this? Come to Berlin, come to London, come to Sydney. We'll do it for 2 days. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about Mercury opposing Uranus. This is interesting. Uranus has been up in the mix. Uranus and Neptune have been dancing with Mars. Again, I'm telling you, Mars and Venus, they are just like wham, 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 wham. It's more up-leveling. Uranus wants radical revolutionary changes for Mars. Neptune, the mystical dissolving. I want to dissolve those ego structures. I want to dissolve you into nothingness to then rebuild you. It is just a lot of this like renewal, right? But it's the dissolving to rebuild you. It's the death for the rebirth. That's Pluto. That's Scorpio season, is the death for the rebirth, this rejuvenation, right? But there's got it like the phoenix rising. We're just in the death phase. So when stuff gets rough, just go this week. We're just in the death phase. It's totally fine. It's just the death phase. And remember, it's the last couple days leading up to the new moon, shedding phase. It's the death phase. So it really is like the ashes. We're becoming the ashes. We're becoming the ashes. The phoenix is becoming the ashes so that the phoenix can rise again. That'll happen around the new moon. All right, more on that in the new moon video. Okay, so then Mercury opposing, let's just talk a little bit about Mercury. Mercury is the mind, right? So it's like Uranus is going to be, sometimes this can be really inspirational. Sometimes this can be like lightning bolt flashes of how to move forward. We want to be able to like catch super quick thoughts, super quick inspirations, right? From the mind, because Mercury, translator of the gods, is translating Uranus. Uranus is radical revolutionary, and Uranus has just been messing with Mars. So there could be some really good insights coming on Wednesday. Thursday, this is that Mercury trine Neptune, Mercury trine Mars, which I just talked about. This is another like up leveling. Trines are good. They're beautiful aspects. So it's a lot more gentle than Mars opposing Pluto. I mean, that's deep transformation, and that's rough transformation. This is a trine. It's like a supportive transformation. There's more grace in this transformation, but Mars is getting hit from all angles, and it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds for us. All right, stay tuned for the new moon episode coming up. If you want to go on tour with us, if you want to come and do those 2-day immersions where you're really waking up, we're legit waking up to these archetypal energies we talk about here in the astrology videos. Yeah, like legit, that's what we're doing. Like it's the embodiment, it's the awakening of them, and it's moving them up and up and up and up and up to be higher and higher forms of expression through you into your life, right? So like your Venus starts to express from a 3rd stage Venus. Your Lilith, remember we talked about her, like wild woman Lilith, wild woman liberator. She starts to express. She moves out of dormant where it's just not even alive in us really. And then she moves through this developing stage, and then she moves to this like divine expression of Lilith. Stunning. And I'm crazy excited for this. So if those sing to you, I'd love to see you there. Again, early bird special is on right now. You'll find links below. Huge love to you all. I'd love to see you in the comments. Y'all light me up so much, and I wouldn't be here without you. Crazy grateful for everything we get to do together.